Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'm going to talk about Rollin 60 rapper, Sandman. Sandman was born Sador Fasahi on January 12, 1986 in Bulgaria. Even though Sandman is Eritrean, the war between Ethiopia and Eritrea forced Sandman's family to migrate to different countries for their safety. This led to Sandman being born in Bulgaria. Due to the war and the corruption going on in the surrounding countries, Sandman's family could never obtain his birth certificate for him. Shortly after his birth, Sandman's family was forced to live in Sudan. By 1993, in the age of 7 years old, Sandman and his family moved to America in search of a better life, and the family settled in LA, South Central to be exact. Being in America, and especially South Central, was a new world. It was a war going on between hundreds of gangs, but this was nothing new to Sandman. Sandman would grow up hard in the beginning of his life, with wars going on all around him, so South Central would be no different. Instead of countries warring with each other, in South Central would be Bloods and Crips versus each other. Sandman would start his life in South Central by going to Hyde Park Elementary School. When he arrived, he had to learn English, which took him about a month to learn. He was already fluent in 2 other languages like Arabic. Sandman would finish all his elementary school years there. He would later go to schools like Horace Mann Middle School and Crenshaw High School. On February 5th, 1997, at the age of 11, Sandman's oldest brother died. This took a heavy toll on him. He looked up to his older brother and wanted to be just like him. The loss of his brother changed him. It made him focus more on his hobbies of sketching, painting, drawing, and his music. His favorite rappers growing up were Nas, Tupac, and Ice Cube. Sandman grew up in a strict family, and by the age of 12, he started to rebel. He found the streets, and a gang in his nearby area was the Rollin 60 Crips. The Rollin 60 Crips are one of the biggest Crip gangs in LA, and have produced many street legends and rappers, some being Corrupt, CJ Mack, J Stone, and Nipsey Hussle, who is also Eritrean, just like Sandman, and has similar family beginnings. After years of being in the streets, Sandman started to take rap serious and started to make a name for himself in his area. In 2005, Sandman was recruited by Yahoo and Pepsi as a West Coast representative on a segment called Mike Pass. But the same year, 2005, at the age of 19, Sandman would wind up in jail for alleged robbery, which he would spend several months in jail before beating the case. After getting out, Sandman did what he knew best. He went back to the streets, but this led to him getting arrested again and costing him valuable time in his career. After getting out of jail the second time, Sandman started working back on his music and started working on a mixtape called Extras Volume 1. Big U would even be his manager, like he was with Nipsey Hussle, to give him an extra push in the industry.
Sandman Negus, coming at you. Got next. No, you got now. Watch you.
But on August 2nd, 2008, after leaving a studio session, Sandman would get into an altercation with some dudes from an enemy hood while driving a friend home. This led to Sandman getting shot 9 times in traffic. Sandman was shot in the colon, the liver, both lungs, shoulders, and his neck. Sandman had to undergo 8 surgeries and was in a coma for 26 days. Despite all of this, Sandman didn't let it break him. He fully recovered and went back in the studio to finish his Extras Volume 1 mixtape, which he finished in 2 months after getting out the hospital. Extras Volume 1 has several rappers from Rollin 60s on the mixtape, even including Nipsey Hussle. Sandman would continue to be on his grind with his music and always stay consistent. He even would start recording videos showing the day in the life of him.
I started doing my music on my own, you feel me? So I started doing shows and doing my own music and putting it out myself, you feel me?
Independently.
My first video was Extras Volume 1, and it made a big noise, 300,000 hits, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it had a big buzz in the streets, a big buzz.
You got a lot of attention to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I knew to move progressively. You can do it by yourself, you feel me? You really don't need nobody.
It's all about the grind, man.
Sandman would even start going to his country to get back and performing shows. He even did several songs dedicated to his country, even being in protests. He would even start making waves in the industry and start being in circles of more known artists at the time, like Glasses Malone, Compton Menace, Sean Kingston, and Meek Mill. Sandman would keep up with his Day in the Life series, even having a segment with Nipsey Hussle on it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I know what it is, man. Me and Sandman, we bros on many levels. Come back home, same place I'm from, we got the same ethnicity.
Oh yeah, tell them about that.
Yeah, you know, we descend from East Africa. That's where our family come from, our folks come from. You know, we out here in America. My pops came out here when he was 19, so I was born and raised out here. But I'm a first generation out of my family, out of the men that's grown up out here. So, you know, we had
Sandman would release numerous songs from 2010 to 2012, which him and Nipsey Hussle were the rising rappers of the Rollin 60s among many. But on September 28, 2012, Sandman unfortunately lost his life. He was only 26 years old. He was killed in an alley on Crenshaw Boulevard. It is said that Sandman and his crew got into an altercation with another group inside a McDonald's. This led to a man on the opposing side getting punched and later wanting revenge. This was all captured on tape inside the McDonald's, and this later led to Sandman getting shot in the alley by the man who got punched inside the McDonald's. This shooting was captured on tape and later led to a man named Oliver being caught and arrested. He later received 50 years to life for shooting Sandman and taking his life. Sandman's life was cut short before he could ever make it big, but he left a lasting impact in his country and even in his community in the 60s. RIP to him. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.